Hello and welcome to the unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League podcast. Off-season episode. I think it's 2, might be 3. Who knows? It's all a blur, man. Corey, how you been?
I've been doing great, man. Been missing this. Been missing the BSHL, and let's get into it.
Got a lot of news today. Are you excited for the news?
Very excited.
More importantly, let's first talk. How's work?
Work's work.
Work's work. My work is also work. All right, let's not beat around the bush. We'll talk. We'll share our stories afterwards.
Yeah.
So the AGM was held yesterday as we record this, May the 25th. We've got some information. Thank you to Roger for having a chat with us. And thank you to, obviously we talk with some of the teams and we find out a lot of good information for everybody, but it's great to have a good chat with Roger, who's, I can tell you, it was to think about how far we've come. When we started this a couple of years ago with no connections in the league, now we're finding out about everything the day after the AGM. It's pretty sweet, Corey. Not gonna lie to you.
It's a very heartwarming thing for me,
Yeah, it's also a privilege to be able to bring this information to the fans because we ourselves are just fans. And A few years ago, we wish somebody would have done this. So here we are. Corey, I think earlier tonight you said something very poignant. If you want something done, do it yourself. Well, we did it ourselves, and now we have a lot of new friends and because of it, and I certainly do appreciate everybody that listens to this. So, first of all, Roger Brunn is back as the president of the BSHL Senior Hockey League for one more year at least. He was officially elected, so congrats to Roger.
I like Roger, so
yeah,
I'm okay with it.
I kind of joked that he's going to make the BSHL great again, and he was like, let's not bring that into this. But I had to make the joke. Come on, everybody would have. But congrats to Roger. So there's a new player rules are a little bit different. So you do have the rights to your territory, obviously, but the way that the players are worked out is on a level system. There's 3 categories of players. A level system. It's complicated, but I'll try my best to explain it.
Okay.
So there's 3 categories of players. Level 1 players are players who have played Junior A and above. Or played above Junior A. Let me rephrase that. Level 1 players are players who have played above Junior A. So players who have played a minimum of 50 games, including playoffs, in the NHL are going to count for 3 of those cards. So level 1 players, level 1, you have, let me see here, 7 cards.
So if someone played for the NHL, that counts for 3 cards.
That counts for 3 of your 7 cards. So a guy like Patrice Cormier would count for 3 cards for the Bucktush JCs from that level 1.
Okay.
Then they can get 4 other players who played above Junior A. So let's break this down a little bit and go, some of the guys, they could have technically iced their team last year. No. Close though. So they'd be able to get Patrice. A guy like Alex Collette, who has played Junior A, isn't one of those cards. He's a level 2 card. So it's a little bit complicated. Let me keep explaining it here. So players played in the NHL would count for 3 of those cards. An AHL player having played 15 games or more, including playoffs, or a KHL player 15 games or more, including playoffs, would count for 2 of those cards.
Okay.
So a guy like Kelsey Tessier,
interesting.
Would count for 2 cards.
Okay, that's interesting.
A player who has played 50 games or more, including playoffs, in university or in the QMJHL, would count as 1 card.
All right.
So a guy like Trey Lewis is 1 card. I think it's the easiest way will be to look at a team and break it down that way. So let's just continue for one moment. Your next level of cards, you're going to have 8 of them. It's AHL or it's junior A players. So you're going to be able to have 8 junior A level players. After that, you have another level, junior B or lower. You can have as many as you need. So fill up your roster with those guys. So again, let's break this down a little bit easier by using a team. I'm going to take the Els Puck Talk Hawks as my example here, and go check them out on hockey elite prospects, because I don't know their roster by heart. I'm old and I forget shit. So let's look at their roster. So a guy like Julian Daigle would count as a card. Or no, he's a junior A card, so he wouldn't be an issue. A guy like Danik Crate would count as one of your cards because he has some QMJHL background. Elijah Francis would count as one of your cards. Let's keep going down this list here. Trey Lewis would count as one of those cards. Alex Arsenault would count as one of those cards. Still going through it here, folks. Stay with me here. I'm not sure if... I'd have to look at that. I'm not sure if Jeremy Hebert would count as one of those cards. I'm not sure if he's played enough. He might be a junior A card. So we're going into forwards. Alex Arsenault would be one of those cards. Robbie Graham would be one of those cards. If they bring back Jeremy Hanna, I believe he would be one of those cards. He's played a significant amount of QMJHL, I'm almost positive. And if I'm wrong, people are going to correct me. He's also played some U Sports. So, no, he would probably fit in. I don't know. He's a bad example. Corey, we're going to move on from him as an example. He's played NCAA, so I think he fits in as a junior A card. And that's it. Then you have Brody McCarthy would fit in as a junior A card. Alex Scully, I believe, has played a significant amount of junior A, so he'd fit in as a junior A card. So it's just kind of giving you an example of what teams are going to be able to do next year with these cards. So you've got 7 of those level 1 cards. If you're an NHL player, you take 3 cards. If you're an AHL player, you take 2 cards. If you're a university or Q player, you take 1 card. If you didn't play more than 50 games and your highest level is junior A, you take some junior A cards. You've got 8 of those, and then you fill your roster with the rest. Corey, how do you feel about this rule?
It's confusing, but I like it. So imports are no longer a thing.
Your import would count as one of those cards.
Okay.
So if Gab
there is still an import.
Who?
There is still an import.
Technically. So like if Gab Vanier came to play for the Hawks again, he would be one of those cards because he's got U Sports and QMJHL experience. Peter Trainer would be one of those top level cards for the Hawks. Unless the Lumberjacks are back, then he'd be a top card for those Lumberjacks.
Okay.
You think about those high level guys, they'd be a card. Jessica Valcourt, for example, Jason Ryu. So yeah, it's kind of...
Is Jessica Valcourt the love child of Jessica Bernard?
Did I say Jessica Valcourt?
You did.
You know what? They are. That's a fucked up. Be a hell of a player. Be fast as hell. What a pass.
That's an NHL
run
right
through
there.
A train. My God. Jessica Valcourt, my new favorite.
Jessica Valcourt would take 3 cards.
Jessica Valcourt would take every card you've got. Jessica Valcourt is my new favorite Dalhousie Marauder. I'm excited about this. This is going to open up some spots for guys while also allowing you to keep your local talent. And I can't imagine how it gets more competitive than last year, but I think it's going to get more competitive than last year.
Yeah. It's still confusing to me. I really need to see it from a wide perspective, I guess you could say.
For me, it helps to write it down. So you've got 7 of these level 1 cards. You've got 8 of these junior A cards, and then you fill the rest of your roster with anything else.
So is there the import is there still a forward or defenseman and an import goalie?
No.
You just said there was imports.
The imports are technically just your cards.
Just your card. Okay.
You could fill your entire roster with imports if you wanted to.
Interesting.
I don't know why you'd do that, but technically they just take cards.
So the local thing is just not a thing anymore.
Only in the sense that you have the rights to your local players.
Okay.
So Trey Lewis's rights are owned by the Elspeth Hawks. For Trey Lewis to become a Mirror Machine Northman, I mean, hell has to freeze over. Let's start there. Hell has to freeze over. But I made myself laugh there. Sorry. He'd have to be released by Elspeth, and then he could be signed using one of those cards by the Mirror Machine Northman after hell freezes over. I hope one of the Northmen people hear this and have a chuckle at that. I also hope Trey hears this and has a chuckle, because hell would have to freeze over, I believe, for that to happen. You don't see a much better rivalry than the Hawks and Trey Lewis and those Mirror Machine Northmen.
Yeah, this is interesting. The season ended a little too quickly for me, and we're back in the thick of it. So, we're still months away, but this is exciting stuff, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so glad you talked about the start of the season. Let's get into that. The start of the season will be on October the 10th this year. So, clear your schedule.
Is that earlier than last year?
Yeah, 5 days earlier than last year.
Okay.
So October the 10th, season starts. And the final, or the playoffs this year, I have had it confirmed, all best of 7. No best of 5s. All best of 7. I think that's great news. I'm not a big fan of the best of 5, because I feel like you can have a bad game and then suddenly you're in pretty deep shit.
Yeah.
So best of 7s are where it's at for me. I'm glad that they're going to be going to that. 20 game schedule is long enough, not too long. Starting at October 10th, we'll see the playoffs start mid to late January again.
The 2024 season were all best of 7s, right?
2024
the
were when Dalhousie won it. Trying to think back, were they?
Yes, they were. Yes, they were, because the Peninsula, Shippigan and Trackety, they went to get 7 games.
Yeah, you're right. And Dalhousie won in 4 against Buktush.
Yeah, no, they won in 5.
They won in 5. Buktush won 1 game. That's right. We went back to Dalhousie. So yeah, it was all best of 7s. I like that. Best of 7s is just better.
Yeah.
We're hoping that we'll be able to bring you some news for teams that are going to be in the league this year. We don't have final notes on that, but
plenty of rumors, but that's all they are. It's rumors.
All the rumors in the world, but some really good news here. Hopefully we're going to be able to bring that to you at some point in the near future. I'm hoping to see the league grow. 6 teams is great. 8 teams was, to me, a perfect formula. 15 teams would be lovely. Let's put a team everywhere. Yeah, I think very exciting news. It's complicated. I'm going to try to come up with a graphic to better explain it, but it's going to be hard to do. And I don't think it's going to be out in time for when this episode comes out. So keep an eye on this page. Once again, things are changing. Teams are going to have 7 level 1 cards, 8 junior A cards, and then unlimited below junior A. NHLers are going to take 3 of those cards. AHLers will take 2 of those cards. And anybody that's played more than 50 games in the queue or in university is going to take 1. Yeah, pretty exciting. I can't wait to get more news. Can't wait to, I don't know. It feels like it's getting closer, man. I see a lot of announcements coming out of Nova Scotia, and I'm getting a little bit jealous.
Yeah. I'm going to put this out in the universe again. Somebody from Nova Scotia, do what we do for the Nova Scotia Hockey League.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. So, Corey, let's talk a little bit, shoot the shit, talk about how we've been. Sure. You've been good?
I've been doing pretty good. Been busy with work and with our other project that's been going way better than expected.
Yeah.
And it's like the BSHL podcast. It's a team effort. And for
the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast is what you're talking about.
The Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast.
We've had some big interviews.
massive interviews, like
Having a lot of fun.
names that you never think that you're going to be able to interview. Like we got Wildman Gary Williams, we got the great Dave Boyces, of course, you know, and that was a Corey call right there, because it's like the channel's incomplete without the great Dave Boyce on it. So we brought him on, and obviously we had fun. Chris Cook, what an awesome dude he was to talk with. New Scott. And for hockey fans, they're like, who the fuck are these people? Trust me, legends of wrestling right there. Yeah, we've been having fun with that, doing a weekly episode. And it's like I said, it's a team effort. It's not just me and Corey on that one. There's Mark the Mark and Magic Man Jason. They're basically our Cheryl and Tracy.
I wonder which one's Cheryl, which one's Tracy. Well, Tracy's the graphics one, so Tracy's Jason.
Jason and
Mark is Cheryl.
Mark is nice. Cheryl. It makes all the sense in the world.
Perfect. I love that. I love Cheryl.
The thing is, me and you reverse roles in that one.
Yeah, we do. You're the other Corey and I'm the other Corey. It's very weird. I love Mark. I love Cheryl, so it works out. So I'll tell you a story about how my life's been going, man. Things are going great. I'm at hospice. Life's going great there. Everything's great. Our washer broke down. So we're buying we were like, fuck it. We're going to go buy a new washer dryer, got a new dishwasher while we're at it. Cause you know, who needs money? Let's just spend all our money on appliances. So yesterday, I'm pulling the washer out and getting things ready to disconnect it. My mom was on her way over, Mama Podcast. She's always there to help me with my stupid ideas and disconnecting stuff and whatever. She's extremely handy with stuff like that, which is really weird, but she just is. She's taught me a ton about that stuff. So anyway, I'm pulling the washer out, unplugging it, and Tracy goes, the cat's after the damn oil stove. This cat's driving me insane. So we have this old oil stove that we don't use, but it has this glass front, and we actually had the oil tank taken out. We've got to get the oil stove taken out, but we're lazy pricks and we're busy, so we just haven't had it done yet. So I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with the cat. It's like scratching at the oil stove. So I'm like, whatever. Water's leaking all over the floor from the hose from the washer that I unplugged. So I've got to go grab a bucket and a towel. So I'm like, hold on a second. So I run to the washroom. And I'm like, well, if I'm in the washroom, who cares if there's water leaking all over the floor? I got to take a piss. So I start taking a piss, and Tracy screams, holy fuck, there's a bird in the stove. And I go, what? So I'm like, I can't cut it off midstream when I'm pissing. You know what I mean? It's just a hard thing to do. I did it because I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I run out there. There's a blackbird in the fucking stove that flew down our chimney, and it's in the oil stove. And the cat wants to get in the stove and kill the fucking bird. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I'm looking, and legitimately there's a black bird in the stove. So we take the dog, take the cat, put them in the other room. My mom comes over, and I'm like, Mom, there's a bird in the fucking stove. And she looks, and she's like, holy shit, look at that. There's a bird in the stove. So my mom has this idea. She's like, get a big garbage bag and cover the way out of the stove, and then open the door. When the bird flies into the bag, we'll close the bag, bring it outside, open the bag, the bird will fly away. Here's the thing. Birds are fucking terrified of us, and they're more scared of a giant green garbage bag. All right. So this bird ain't coming out of this oil stove. It's like, no fucking way. So after a while, we're like, well, I don't know where the hell the bird is. We think it flew back up the chimney. So close the door, shut it, lock it shut, pull on it 10 times to make sure it's actually closed. I'm terrified a bird's going to fly out of my big ass. Bird's nowhere to be found. All right, great. Carry on with our day. Assume the bird flew up the chimney. It's gone. It's what any normal, sane human being would think, right? Take apart the washer, bring it outside. Take apart the dryer, bring it outside. Get everything set up for furniture delivery on Tuesday. Life's great. Have supper, went for a drive with Colby, watched some YouTube, talked to Corey a little bit, found out about the result, what we heard from the AGM from a couple people, just a little bit, bits and pieces of news here and there. Talked to Roger, scheduled a call with Roger for tonight. Life's great. I go to bed, climb into bed. Tracy calls. Just before 9 o'clock at night, my phone rings. And I go, Tracy never calls. Something must be wrong. So I answer the phone. Tracy goes, the bird's back in the fucking stove. And I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. And she goes, no, the bird's back in the stove. And I go, okay, what do you want me to do? She's like, I don't know. I called your mother. I'm like, okay. So my mom lives next door to me. My mom and my dad, Cheryl, lives next door to me. So my mom comes over. We know the garbage bag didn't work. This thing was scared of the garbage bag. So Tracy goes, let's lock the cat and the dog in the other room. Cat actually comes upstairs and gets in bed with me. Dog comes upstairs, gets in his own bed. I've got Tracy on speakerphone, and I hear her go, let's just open the door to the front door to the house, which leads to a porch, and open the porch door so the bird can just fly out there. And then we'll open the door and let the bird out, and hopefully it just flies out the door. Corey, does this sound like a good idea to you?
It does not.
So Tracy, I'm on speaker with Tracy, and I hear it. And she opens the door. My mom's scared shitless. I'm going, do you want me to come downstairs? And Tracy's like, no. You make too much noise. Literally what she said to me. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I do make too much noise. So she opens the door and she's standing there. Dead silent. My mom, dead silent. Me upstairs on the speaker. I go, what the fuck's going on? Tracy goes, shut up. You're making too much noise. You're going to scare the bird. So they see the bird a little bit, but the bird's not moving. Eventually, my mom decides she's going to turn on the flashlight and point it to see where the bird is. Do you know what birds love? Light. So the bird flies out of the stove at that moment towards the window that is closed, not the door that is open, and smacks into the window. And now it's flapping its wings trying to get out the window. So my mom goes, oh shit, open the window. Tracy goes, there's a screen in that window. So my mom, I'm on speaker. At this point, I'm like, I got to get up. This is ridiculous. I have to get up. But I don't because I'm a lazy prick and I wanted to hear what would happen. So my mom runs outside and takes the screen off that window. And as my mom runs outside, the bird flies out the front door directly into the window pane in our porch and then gets caught up in the curtain. So Tracy, who would by now I now picture as the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2, just so we're clear, Corey, you're muted, you bastard. She's the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2. She's the bird lady.
Yep.
Follows the bird to the porch. The bird hangs a left. She's like, this is literally the sound she makes. Come here, birdie. Hang a left and fly out this door. I don't know what the hell to say, but the bird hangs a left, flies out the fucking door. So Tracy's now the bird whisperer. Corey's in shock right now by this story.
That is not something that I was expecting to hear. I was expecting to talk hockey, a little bit of wrestling because we tend to do that. That story is insane.
There's nothing I can say. I hope that bird is okay. Today when we banging its head twice in the window.
Bird cushion.
Today when we were driving to Moncton, I said, Tracy, do you see a blackbird there at Tim's? You know, one of your buddies over there? And she's like, ha, ha, ha. And I just kept calling her Bird Lady from Home Alone 2. Not like looking up the lady what the lady's name is in Home Alone 2. Literally, I just now call Tracy Bird Lady from Home Alone 2. And then, what's that?
It's a good nickname.
I think so. Locker Room Creeper, Bird Lady from Home Alone 2. And then we got home last night and tonight, there's a bunch of blackbirds on my lawn. So I was like, Tracy, which one of those is the one that smashed its head into the porch? Yeah, man, that's my life right now. I now live with a bird whisperer.
Well, I can think of worse things.
I can think of worse things too. All right, man. Once we get more news, we'll come back with another episode. But for now, I think that's all we've got for tonight, Corey. You look exhausted, so I think you're going to bed soon.
I am.
All right, man. We'll be back. Who knows when? This isn't going up at a regularly scheduled time. I don't think the next couple episodes are going to go up at regularly scheduled times. Just is what it is. When there's news, we'll be here. When there isn't news, we won't. At the very least, we'll be here on the first Monday of every month. So
awesome.
Corey, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll talk soon.
Take care.